Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 199. One shy, guys. August, or no, I guess we're September now. September 9th, 2020. It's already winter, and I am complaining about it because my name is Clyde.
Oh, we know that.
Yeah. And tonight I'm joined by Jimmy Trammell.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Michael Aston.
Howdy, y'all.
And Matthew Ross.
Okay, you say you're really good about complaining about things. I'm horrible about complaining about things.
I mean, no, I just mean complaining about things is kind of my signature.
It's your superpower. I mean,
that's the whole reason we started this show is I needed an outlet, a way to vent. Well, so it wasn't me looking like a crazy guy screaming at the podcast.
Well, I started this show because I was trying to be slightly outside my comfort zone, but I really enjoy yelling at you, telling you you're wrong. So I like it too.
See, and that's why we've made it almost 200 episodes.
Oh my goodness!
And next week we can officially break up and call it quits, right?
Are we like married couple?
I mean, that's the way it works with like bands and other creative groups.
So which one of you are going out with Yoko Ono?
Maybe
not
it's you. I was gonna say you're the only one here that's married to someone that's an immigrant, right?
You know, that's a good point.
The closest.
But
how you doing?
It's cold. I have my heater on. I'm wearing pants and a hoodie.
What? Why? How could you be cold?
It's 42 degrees outside.
But aren't there like fires all around you?
No, I'm not in California.
No. Oh, okay, yeah. So where I live, the fires are everywhere.
Yes. No, I should be outside in front of a fire, but no, I'm stuck inside with you guys.
Sorry.
But I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Oh, okay, fine.
So
put it that way.
What are we actually here to talk about this week?
You know what? The truth is, I am running into this show last minute, literally crawling up the stairs after just scarfing down food to read about the fact that it looks like Google is putting Stadia on Chromebooks. And no, that's not a thing like, oh, it can run on Chromebooks. No, it'll be on there. And I don't know, can you remove it? It'll be there by default. It's going to be something you are going to be able to do right away. As soon as you open up your Chromebook, you'll be able to go, hey, you know what? Let's play a game. And right away, you're going to be able to have an option to play your streaming games through the Stadia system right there. So, yeah, I got to tell you, that's an interesting selling point for Chromebooks.
What's the subscription rate of Stadia?
It's confusing. I can explain, but I'll let you guys discuss first.
I'm not going to comment on the subscription rate because I still don't understand it completely.
I can understand. Yep.
But yeah, I will say it's a ballsy move. Putting it on Chromebooks or making it available on Chromebooks, absolutely no brainer. But forcing it to be there by default. How big is now? Let me ask. Since you use it. And you probably have tried it on a Chromebook. How much space does it actually take up?
0.
Oh, okay.
Or I mean,
so it's a minor.
Nothing.
It's a minor thing. It's not like okay.
It's a web app. So in other words, you go to the website and it downloads the client there. You've got everything. Time? Well, it's because all it is doing is streaming stuff to your computer. It's not doing anything super fancy. It's just you got the right codec, great, you can do it. So
yeah.
I mean, the thing about Stadia, so the pricing model is, it's not that complicated. I know that it's
Okay,
not
I'm getting
super
serious if you
straightforward,
get it right. I'm gonna find out.
but basically, if you want to purchase a game through Stadia, you can play that game on Stadia for free with the system.
Well,
If you want to get Stadia Pro, you pay $10 a month. You get a selection of games free, and you get discounts, at least $10 off your first game, but supposedly other discounts on other games that you purchase through the Stadia store. The downside, of course, is that you can only play those on Stadia. You don't have physical discs, similar to Steam, except that
well, I
Steam's
mean, it's a lot like buying a game for PC. You know, if it's a PC, you buy it a PC disc,
Like a Windows store.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you couldn't load it on a Mac and be like, oh, or throw it on a Chromecast. So, I mean,
Right.
that's
The
normal.
thing about Steam is that Steam allows you, if the game that you bought is playable on a Mac, you can play it on a Mac. If the game that you bought is playable on a PC, you can play it on a
Yeah,
PC
but
and
only
on any
through
PC
Steam.
anywhere.
Only through Steam, though.
But you only have to. It's again,
Same
it's
thing
similar.
it's the same thing
The
as
difference. The big difference, though, is that Stadia is internet connected.
Yeah.
You're playing on their servers, and so if you don't have internet, you do not have your games. Period.
Right.
Where Steam, you can install a game on your system and still play the games when
Agreed.
you are Steam disconnected. So there are some differences in owning an internet online only game. It's like WoW, right? You can't play WoW if the WoW servers are down or if you don't have internet. So it's a little different. I consider it a little bit of a disadvantage, but I do like the system. It seems like there's some decent games that you get free. Nothing that I'm particularly excited about, but I have used Stadia a little bit, and I think it's a pretty decent system. If you have a low-end PC, or if you are wanting to be able to play on a laptop or something like that, Stadia is a great solution for you, or your phone.
Yeah.
I think Stadia is a great solution. So I'm still very excited about it. Last time I played it was a while ago when it was still officially in beta. And I don't feel like the gameplay experience was good enough for high-speed games like first-person shooters, but it was okay for action games, and it would be supreme for like strategy type games or anything like that.
So a couple things. You played it during beta, and I played it during like the first launch week. And yes, there was just ever so much amount of lag. But I played it like a month or two later, and I played Orcs Must Die, which is exclusive on Stadia. It'll come to other stuff in a few months. I had one tiny hiccup I could notice. Other than that, it was flawless and felt great. I'm maybe not the world's twitchiest gamer. Maybe other people could feel, but I couldn't tell. And I remember my Counter-Strike days, so it's great. The other thing is when you pay for Stadia, you are paying also for the higher than 1080p 60 frames per second and the standard stereo sound. Everything bumps up to 4K. Up to 4K, up to 120 frames per second, and your HDR Dolby Max surround sound solutions as well. So, and then the rotating games that come through, you get to keep them forever as long as you keep paying. So, but yeah, the biggest downside of Stadia by far is the bandwidth.
Yeah. And that's the thing that scares me the most about the Pro, but paying for the Pro is I can't imagine the bandwidth hog that streaming 4K would be.
That being said, what is the hard drive space requirement for Microsoft Space Flight Simulator?
Oh, right off the bat, 150 gigs.
That's the smallest amount, because then you can stream everything live from it, and it can be like
that's not bandwidth. But yes, that's the hard drive.
It all has
space.
to come down to you. No. That's a lot of bandwidth.
I understand. I thought you meant like while you're playing. Yeah, that initial investment. It was stupid. It was like. I did the first download. It said 100 gigs. All right, fine. I'm in for 100 gigs. I come back 3 hours later or whatever it was, and it's like, oh, it's done. I start to play it. It starts to play, and then it says, oh, no, you need an update. Okay, fine. What's the update? Oh, it's another 49 gigs. Why couldn't you just include that in the original? If you go into on our server, on the Poodle Puncher server, go down to Sky Pirates channel, you will see me ranting about this. It's like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. What the hell?
So glad my phone doesn't beep at me after at 11 o'clock at night. It just shuts everything up. So happy.
Yeah, no, back to the Stadia thing. We need to try it. I really need to try it sometime. Winter's coming, so I'll be trapped in the house again.
My recommendation is either find a game that's when it's on sale that you'd actually be interested in purchasing and buy it, or decide, okay, this month I'll spend $15 or $10 or whatever it is and just try it then.
And we missed it last week. I think the deal ends today or tomorrow. They dropped the price for the piece that gives you the hardware with it. With the controller and the Chrome or Cloud or whatever it is, Chromecast, to $89. Okay. I mean, it's $10 off of. They already dropped the price to less than 100. But if you don't need the hardware,
now, I know you love your racing sims, right?
Yeah.
Okay, The Crew 2.
I've never played The Crew, so I don't know.
They're $12.50 right now on Stadia. You buy it, it's done. It's yours.
Yeah,
I think that's a pro
so few
discount
games.
Price.
It's hard for me to find a game that I'm like, ooh, I need to buy that.
I know. Yeah, that's true. There are so few games nowadays. I mean, really.
But I've never been a big gamer, so. I mean, I didn't play. I'd never even played Crysis until Rude Fox gave me his copy in 2013. Oh, and then that was the point where the question, can it play Crysis? Oh yeah, my 2013 PC had no problem playing that game.
Right. Video games.
Well, what about Apple TV? What's going on with Apple TV?
What about Apple TV? I mean, seriously, what's with it? Apple TV is doing their thing where they're slowly, carefully going out to other platforms and making it available for other people to see Apple TV on different devices. Today, they're announcing that they're going to go ahead and get it launched on the Vizio line of smart TVs. This means if you have a Vizio TV, which is probably since it looks like a couple of years old now, since all 2016 and later SmartCast TVs are going to be enabled with the Apple TV experience. So you will be able to watch it right on the device.
This is a big deal because unlike Roku and, Fire TV, the other things that are just kind of widely adopted, Vizio has their own proprietary OS. So, yeah, the fact that Apple's took the time to custom develop the app for the Vizio customers, you should be excited. So,
yeah.
Just in time for all the bundles that Apple's going to be coming out with later in the year.
Are they going to have bundles? Oh, I guess. Oh, sorry, the Showtime and those bundles.
No. Well, now there's rumors that there's probably going to be bundles that they're going to do. But,
okay.
But nobody knows what that is yet.
Okay.
Well, there's always been rumors of all different kinds of things. Like, when is Apple going to come out with the Apple TV? And
no, they said long ago. Nope. No.
Okay,
just
fine.
no.
I still believe. I refuse to believe the liars at Apple who say that they're not making it, because they often come back and actually.
So here's the problem: if Apple did come out with a TV, they would have their 4K 55-inch Apple TV. It'd be like $2,000.
Yep.
I can buy a TCL for $300. Nope, the Apple one's better because it says Apple. $2,000.
That's possible. They'd have some type
it's
of
white. Don't you want a white TV in your living room?
They would
Well,
have
actually,
something in it that would make
may
it
not
special.
be that bad, but
They would totally do something to make it absolutely special, and there would be the plenty of those people who would be like, "Oh, I need this," and then buy it,
yeah.
and that's fine. I also count myself in the group of not those kind of people.
Nope. Money talks, and
Sometimes.
Mhm.
All right.
You get what you pay for.
Speaking of Apple, who's this guy? Apple hires the former Disney, Hulu, and Quibi executive. I guess his name was Tim Connolly, and they decided to hire him for Apple TV service. Apparently, he has been working on doing all kinds of stuff, including this Quibi stuff. You can see how well that went out. Where he's trying to get being the senior executive, trying to get those services off the ground. What's the big deal about this guy?
Well, I mean, the big thing about this guy is that not only originally he was the vice president of digital distribution at Disney. So
okay.
So he was the guy that was involved in getting the whole Disney Plus thing going, and
he was in the right place at the right time. Come on.
But then he was also he oversaw I guess before that, he was one of the people to help launch Hulu's live TV service, way back when. So, but I think most notable, he was one of the most senior executives at the streaming startup Quibi, and that's why Apple had to have him, because Quibi was such an success right from the get-go.
I think we're all thinking the same thing there. I mean, you look at his resume, right? You see Disney, it's like, oh, okay, that's pretty good. And then you see Hulu, right? You're like, okay, not too bad there either. And then you see Quibi, and you're like, holy cow, why are they hiring this guy, right?
Because he was only at Quibi for 10 minutes, and that's how long a Quibi is, so that makes sense.
No, it's because he used to be too expensive. He was like, yeah, we'd like him to work, but he would never work for us because we won't pay him what he needs, right? And then he goes to Quibi, and it's like, hey.
Would you take $1? I pay you $1. Okay.
At least one thing about him, I mean, at least he's smart enough to leave Quibi and go work for Apple.
So
but did he leave?
I mean, here's the thing. What did he do? What was his responsibility at Quibi? If you think of Quibi's launch and how it got off the ground, how it started, its marketing, its lead up, it was amazing. People were stoked about Quibi. Everybody signed up. It did great until 10 minutes after it started, and people finished watching their first Quibi, and they realized that this was going to be super lame, and they had already watched everything there was of interest. I mean,
if you look at that picture, those are the eyes of a guy that's terrified. How am I going to pay for my helicopter? How am I going to continue paying for this house that I got for my kids?
Yeah, the real question is, who was he working for at the time that picture was taken? It looks like maybe Quibi, right?
Exactly. That's what I was
that'd be my bet.
So I don't know. I threw this in because I thought it was fun, because it's fun to poke fun at Quibi. Because while they did everything right,
they got it so wrong.
Their timing couldn't have been worse. Hey, we're launching an mobile only thing. It's only for mobile when you're out and about and you only have mobile. Oh wait, everybody's like
stuck inside,
stuck at home, and they're not going anywhere. Crap. What if we put this thing that's only mobile on your TV?
That took too long.
Yeah.
That's still weird. It's still not quite right. Yeah. No, you know what? Here's the truth. I bet you he's really good at what he does.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you he's really good at does. And I bet you he's going to be, one of the, he's going to be a great fit for Apple. And I bet you he's going to totally enjoy getting that paycheck. So good for him.
I'm
good
sure,
for him.
I'm sure
we poke fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But but speaking of Quibi, who's going to buy their content when they go out of business?
I don't know. I no
Jim down the street for
actually
like $50.
Actually, believe it or not, Quibi did one very interesting thing with all their content creators. They gave all the content creators rights to their content that they created, which means once they're done with Quibi, they can take their content and do whatever the hell they want with it, including taking it to other
they
places.
do basically the same thing that you can do when you have a YouTube partnership or you know, one of those.
Most of these streaming services, you know, it's a Netflix film. It's for Netflix, kind of. You say it's or something like that.
But
so,
Netflix pays for it though, right?
Right.
Quibi is using the. They're not using the studio model, which Netflix and Hulu would be using. They're using the whatever you call
aggregate
the Twitch and YouTube model, where we made the content. We're just partnering with them. While you're partnered with them, you can't put that content anywhere else.
But when you're done.
Yeah. Which is why right now we're only affiliate. That's why when we're done, we can export our stuff to YouTube. If we ever make partner, our stuff's here and not on YouTube.
Really?
Well, there's a window. It's got to be here for so long before you can put. Right now, there's no window. I can, when we're done with the show, I hit export. And then it's, you know. That's good if you want, especially if you're trying to get people in from the get-go on an unproven platform. So
okay,
Yeah.
Hey, so just curious, if you guys who ever want to have like an Android TV that was like also, you know, like your home Wi-Fi router, also could pick up 4G and also could, you know, pick up, you know, television channel. I was like over the air. I mean, just do all the things.
Yes.
Okay, we've got a product for you. This is called the Skyboxy, and this is the all-in-one Android TV that gets all the stuff apparently, and it just got a FCC approval, so we get to see some of the stuff that approval showed us, including the fact that it has the 4G LTE access. It's an 802.11ac Wi-Fi router. That's a Wi-Fi 6, if I remember correctly. And it's got an over-the-air tuner, and it's Android TV. It does all the things. Now, is this like anyway related to the old Boxy company?
No. I think it's English. It's just Skybox. They have an E on the end. Think of it like someone British saying it.
Skybox.
Yeah.
It's only AC. It is not Wi-Fi 6.
Oh, that's sorry. Wi-Fi 5. My apologies.
But no, this on the surface, you go, that's too much stuff in one box.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're trying to set up your parents with no cable, no DSL, just 4G internet, LTE internet, this is the box you want. Because you set it in the living room next to the TV, you plug your TV into it, and it just magically picks up the internet from the atmosphere around you, you know, voodoo, as it's the technical term we use. And it's your router. It's essentially your cable box.
Yeah.
It's your streaming box. This is awesome. I hope it's good. That's the thing. I hope it's good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's really nice that it does all these things until it breaks, and then all your things break.
Yeah, all your things break. I mean, the one thing I would say is there's two things here that are relevant. First, to me, is the fact that it doesn't have any on system storage, so that I can tell. So you have an over-the-air antenna or tuner, but you have no way to record and store that. That's a big detriment to me. If you're going to include everything, you might as well throw a DVR in there. Come on. And the second thing is that how does this 4G work? Is there going to be a subscription required to get that set up? Yeah. Or can you carry it to any provider? So could I add it as a device to my Verizon? Probably not. So what's the price going to be on that? And then, of course, the price on the device. Or is it going to be subsidized by an overly high 4G price? And why not 5G? Come on, guys.
Because 5G doesn't exist, and 4G doesn't even actually exist, as we keep talking about. but
Oh my goodness.
we're not going to go into that one.
Oh,
Oh, that's
wait, wait,
that's
this
a
is
that's a
essentially-
cherry
Let's
chestnut
clarify
from
this. As
1998.
you keep talking about,
yes,
I don't think anybody else here has been going on about 4G.
No, I meant that we've been over this before, not that
Oh,
we
okay.
all agree. Right?
Okay.
That we've been down this road. I'm not going to take us down this road today. Maybe in the post show, but no. What I was getting at is this theoretically, this should be carrier agnostic. This is like an unlocked cell phone. So places that have 4G service or LTE service, like there are many cities that Verizon has rolled out their whole home LTE. You should be able to buy this, contact them and say, hey, I need to add this to my whatever plan. You know, you give them the ID off of it, and then it starts working.
Yeah.
And then, because, I mean, otherwise, when you sign up, they're going to give you the option to purchase their modem. But you should be able, because if you remember, Verizon has their modem that basically does a lot of this already, but it provides their TV service. This is giving you Android TV instead of the custom Verizon service. So,
what if you have something like fiber internet service and you just want to plug an Ethernet cord?
well, this isn't for you then. This isn't for that. This is for people that want to utilize the LTE whole home internet.
Right. And according to their website, it is a 4G/5G communications and application device. And you do use via your wireless carrier. So those are good things to see. Then it just comes down to price. And like I said, I mean,
it's really service availability in your area.
Yeah.
And then price. Yeah. I would expect this to be, I'm going to guess that this is going to be like the $120 range.
Okay.
Maybe
More than
150.
that.
Yeah,
200.
I think
300.
I don't think, because for the type of device and the lack of people already using or even knowing what this is, they're going to have to come into the market low until there's adoption. And then they can come out with the next generation version that's better.
Yeah,
And it has an Apple on it. It's $2,000. And then everybody will be like, oh, yeah.
I still don't like this. I still don't like this solution. I mean, you're going to spend whatever for the device, hook it up with a mobile plan that gets throttled down after about 30
Well,
something
that's
gig.
not so. Number one, like I said, it's not for everybody. LTE internet is primarily for people that don't have access to big.
It's not going to be for anybody who wants to watch more than 30 gigs worth of content.
No. That's not true. Because for the internet, wireless internet, they don't usually have the data caps because you're expected to be. Especially with the Skynet, as I keep calling it, the new SpaceX low Earth orbit, whole world wireless that they're rolling out.
Yeah,
that is
satellite internet.
So that is exactly what this device is meant to be used with. And that will, is theoretically going to be
Starlink.
data cap free. Because it's,
doing a quick search, it looks like similar prices. So LTE modems are running in the neighborhood of about $330. That's without a router built in. On the higher end, you've got like the Netgear Nighthawk that has the router built in, and it's running $350. None of those have the tuner or the streaming functionality and stuff. So I'm going to stick with $250 as my theory. And I think that this has a decent audience for a specific type of user. I mean, I remember when it was called Clearwire.
I had a Clear modem. I still have.
And then it became Clear. And it was very interesting. I used it in my area and I didn't have good enough reception, so I only used it for like a month or two before the trial ended. And you know, they were like, no, you definitely have good enough. Try putting it in another window. Tried everything, didn't work. But they had some good use cases, and some people liked them. I didn't know people, because I worked at Best Buy at the time. I sold them, and I knew I had several customers that were very happy with them. But most of the people that really got excited about them were people like realtors that could take their internet with them and have a Wi-Fi hotspot at the house while they were doing an open house or something like that. So I think that if you look at the right use cases, this is super useful. Now, that use case fits more in things like mobile homes and things like that. Imagine if you have a mobile home and you're traveling across country, you've got internet everywhere you go.
See, right. The difference though with Clear, because I had Clear and I loved it because when I would travel, I would just throw it in my suitcase, and whatever city I went to, I would set it up and I had my home internet in the hotel room. But the problem was that was 3G, and 3G throughput varied and reception varied drastically from location to location. And sometimes there's some places where it would work in my bedroom, but it wouldn't work in the living room because, you know, those issues have basically been resolved with LTE. Because, I mean, if you look at your phone, no matter where you are, you're almost always connected LTE. And the throughput issue is they aren't there anymore, which is why whole home. So Clear folded because whole home 3G wasn't scalable. Whole home LTE is, which is why you've got a company that's devoting billions of dollars to launching satellites for this very purpose. But yeah, back to my price point, I do think it's worth more. It is, the value I think is higher, $250, maybe $300. It's just a new enough product that if they go that high, I believe they'll price themselves out of the market and you won't get that early adoption numbers that they need to move forward, which is why I think they will have to lower the price and make it more of a commodity. But that we'll see, hopefully here in the next month or so.
Yep, I'm sure they'll make hundreds of dollars.
Oh, I'm sure they'll make more than that. But all right.
All right, who here would be interested in doing an interactive experience?
Well, what kind of interactive experience?
Well, let's say I have to grab you and 99 other people.
Are we going to have to walk through a room blindfolded while we're groped by disembodied hands, and there's like you have to touch things that like spaghetti in a bowl and they tell you it's brains?
So actually, in a way, you're kind of correct, because this is an event where 100 people have been and will be selected for a new interactive story that's being told. HBO is getting about 100 people to get into a VR, one of 3 VR events where these 100 people are being put into VR goggles and going to be sent through a Lovecraft Country story where they are in live trying to figure out how to get out of these weird rooms and figure out these puzzles.
So it's literally a VR haunted house.
Exactly. But these 100 people are also going to be live streamed on YouTube, and there will be people be able to get on YouTube and be able to help them solve puzzles, cast spells, make certain things happen to make it the experience.
And you know, 90% of the comments are going to be, "You're ugly. What happened to your face?"
Well, it is Lovecraft Country, so that's fine. So yes, you have to put on a blindfold, and you have to go into a room, and you have to put your hand in and weird disembodied squid things will be touching you, and you basically were right the first time.
Not a blindfold. a VR headset, and
It's a giant blindfold with a television on the inside. Come on.
yeah, so you'll see what you're touching.
I know I'm teasing,
but it won't actually be what you're touching, right? Like this would be amazing. I would be so freaking on board with this if we just had a few 100 million more subscribers. Maybe we could be the influencers that they selected. Unfortunately.
But they already did event 1, which is Garden of Eden, which was on Thursday, September 3rd, and that would be last week. And that they are going to be doing 2 more, the American Dream, which is going to be on the Thursday, September 24th, and the event 3 is Music of the Cosmos, which will take place on the Monday, October 19th. So how can you get in? I don't know. Go to lovecraftsanctum.com and figure it out. Become some kind of big.
Well, it says that it's select influential.
Yeah, I know,
So
but I bet you if you flash enough money, I'm influencing you with my money. Let me into this experience. You know, something's possible.
Yeah.
You never know.
It's it sounds really cool to me. I think it's, you know, I'm super into the VR augmented reality space. I would be so on board with this.
I am into the trying to figure out how to make these things, these interactive stories, more interesting, and I like the experimentation. I don't know if this is the right right, you know, final form of this new media we're in, but I do like the experimentation. Now, that being said, I've not seen Lovecraft Country, and I've never been big on Lovecraft in general, but I don't know, maybe your thing.
Maybe.
I don't know what's wrong with you. Everybody loves
giant.
Everybody loves craft.
yes.
Kraft macaroni
Kraft
and cheese.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Demonic beings from
You're
Other
talking
world.
octopus space Cthulhu and
yeah.
How can you not be into Cthulhu? And
Because the whole point of him, he's so weird and grotesque, he literally drives you insane.
yeah,
Not my thing.
See, I
brilliant.
like most people am into Cthulhu because of memes, not because of the author.
I haven't.
I
read
have
all of
someplace.
Lovecraft
I
stuff,
have a
but what
knitted
I have read is
Cthulhu
brilliant.
ski mask.
That sounds hilarious.
memes. But not because I enjoyed Lovecraft. I never could. I never could get into. A friend of mine was way into Lovecraft, and I tried.
If you haven't actually read any of his stories, you should definitely read some of them.
I have. That's what I was saying. I've tried.
Some people won't like it, but if you are at all interested in literature and suspense, then I think you can enjoy it at least. And by literature, I mean like not like just reading books, but it's early 1900s writing. It's very much in the Victorian style of writing with very, very flowery language and highly descriptive, intentionally using a very large vocabulary and large words. And I very much enjoy reading that kind of stuff, like Oscar Wilde and stuff. So if you like that kind of thing, then I think you will probably like Lovecraft, at least to some extent. Some of his stories are pure horror, but most of them are more suspenseful psychological thriller.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I'm a fan.
Good. I'm glad you're a fan. It's just not my thing. I don't know. All right. But you know, there's this thing people are doing on the internet. They're watching movies together and having parties, and you know, these movie parties are doing their thing on, you know, the various platforms. Amazon's been talking about it for a while, and now they're giving it to everybody. That's right. The Twitch Prime's video watching service called, you know, Watch Parties is now available to everybody, not just their beta members. And so if you've got Amazon Prime Video access, you can go and watch a movie with some friends, up to 100 of your friends, and watch some shows on there and laugh. You know,
which on the surface, this is awesome. You know, that it's finally open up to everybody. The problem is, number one, all party members have to have a subscription.
Okay.
The other problem is, even though it's now open to other regions, all party members must have access to the same content. So if you're in Canada, you may not be able to join a party with someone in the US because a lot of the stuff that you want to watch isn't available. Or if you're in the UK, someone in the US can't watch it because it's a UK only title. So those restrictions, the catalog restrictions, are still there, which is basically the same as the feature not being available. But so it's not international, but it is available in all regions now, but it's still region locked for the most part.
All right. I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
Is the future so bright you got to wear shades?
I need shades right now.
Yeah,
Okay,
almost all the time.
almost all the time, really? Well, we're, yeah.
I take them off so you can see my bright blue eyes for this show, but all the rest of the time they're on.
Okay. Well, you should probably put these on. These are TCL Project Archery, and they've apparently been doing them, releasing them in IFA every year, the various versions of it. This is their third generation of it, and it is a pair of shades that look completely normal. Well, they look pretty. They look a little slim
That's debatable, but they look more normal than
most of these funky things. But they do put an OLED display within them that gives you the illusionary effect of getting a giant big screen TV right in front of you. They're able to provide a clear picture to you, even if you do not have prescription contacts in. If you are, it can match your prescription.
They're really working on that. They haven't got that completely dialed in yet. That's one of the goals, is to be able to not need to wear glasses under them or wear contacts with no prescription. But I don't think they're actually there yet.
Yeah, no price is limited. I'm pretty certain these are just, demo models with the concept things.
We saw these, I think, version 1 a couple years ago. They were supposedly at CES, the version 2, this last year, but I didn't see them when we were at the TCL booth. Otherwise, I would have definitely tried them on. Because we're always on the lookout for this. And yeah, the one they just showed at IFA, that's version 3.0. So as we've covered many times before, this is exactly what I have been wanting. I want the ability to sit on an airplane and then just put on some glasses and watch a big screen TV. And most of the stuff that's been out before was either way too expensive, like that one from Royal, which was really cool, but it was way too expensive, or just too big and bulky. So I've still got my fingers crossed for these. TCL has never disappointed me with the stuff they put out.
How do you get the sound? Would it be Bluetooth headphones, I would imagine?
I'm wondering, I think if you look, if there's a little slit here, I'll bring this up. I think it's like the new Bose.
The bone conducting?
Well, not necessarily. It's a combination. So if you look at this picture, I don't know if you can see the mouse, but
nope.
Right before the curve, there's a little slot. If you look at the one on the left.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
If you're like, Bose has these headphones or these sunglasses out now that they have the Bose stuff built in, which I think is a combination speaker close to the ear, so it doesn't have to be super loud. And they might have bone conducting, but they're very effective. The Bose ones, they just all look hideous. It's like, I'm not paying $300 for a pair of ugly sunglasses. So I think that's what these TCLs are doing. But
okay,
yeah,
this is interesting though.
So worth noting that if that's the case, there is a potential the people sitting next to you might hear what you're doing. So if you're on an airplane, it's probably still not a good idea to watch porn.
Nope. Generally not
At
a good
least
idea.
turn off the audio.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really have to, if there's no getting around it, then at least turn off the audio.
Please do that, and please do not do the opposite and turn off the TV and leave the audio on. That's the worst.
At least the jet engines might hide the sound.
All right. Disney Plus.
Yeah, so Disney Plus, I think they made a mistake. I think they did. I see this announcement was made on September 2nd, which basically says that, hey, you guys know that big old movie we've been trying to get everybody to go see? It's going to be in theaters. You're going to be able to see it on Disney Plus, but you're going to have to pay $30 to get access to it on Disney Plus, and that will give you access to the new movie Mulan. It's going to be one of the few big hits. This is obviously going to be picture of the year because there's like nothing else out there, or it's going to be one of the options. I guarantee. And yeah, right there on the bottom of this thing, it says, "Oh yeah, by the way, if you don't pay, all the normal Disney Plus subscribers will be able to watch this on December 4th."
Yeah.
Yep. I never. Nope. Not. Was thinking about it maybe, and now see that like I can wait.
Yeah. See, and
What's
that's
3
the
months?
thing. The $30, and we always knew that it was going to be coming to subscribers eventually.
When was it? Years?
It's a matter and because I mean, when they started Disney Plus, they laid out the plan that new stuff was going to be on the platform within 3 months. I think it was.
Yeah.
So this fits right with that.
I agreed, but that being said, I knew that this was going to be this was special due to the COVID. So this is one of the very few big movies to come out. So were they going to hold on to it for 6 months or something like that, or a year? And it's like
no, I don't think so. I think the initial demand for this movie is going to die off very quickly for the people that desperately want to see it and they're willing to pay the $30 to have it now. The same people that would have gone to it in the movies theater.
Sure.
And that's a finite group. And then there's no reason to hold off if that money is no longer coming in. I think 3 months is a fair time.
More than enough, quite frankly.
Yeah. And it's also it's a window that people like you and me that don't really care can go, maybe I'll catch it.
Man, I would hate be that guy who decides, I really want to watch this movie on December 1st.
Oh, December 3rd. Pay $30 on December 3rd. See, and by the time you get around to watch it, it's already in your library.
It's like, dang it.
We'll watch it tomorrow.
So I bought it. I paid the $30.
All right.
Watched it opening day.
Nice.
I am completely happy with the fact that it comes out in 3 months. There was no way we were going to wait 3 months to watch it. So I was fine with that. And I knew that before I purchased it. I can't remember if I saw it online or if it was actually advertised in the Disney Plus app. But I was fully aware when I bought it that I was getting 3 extra months of it free, or of it for that price, instead of waiting 3 months to see it with the Disney Plus subscription that I already have.
Yeah,
I think this is totally reasonable. $30, as I've said before, $30 is less than I would pay to go see it in the theaters with my family. And what I found was I very much appreciate watching movies at home. It's not quite the same as seeing it in a theater, but I got to see it opening day and I got to pause it when I wanted to and, go get food and eat whatever I wanted and not pay astronomical prices for the food and the drinks and stuff. So we really enjoyed it. Very happy. Watched it several times already. I would say from a review perspective, I liked it a lot. My whole family liked it a lot. The original's still better.
Okay.
I was going to say, I have no interest in this movie because of the revisionist history nature of it. They completely wrote out Mushu.
Correct.
Which is the whole point. Now, I also must reiterate, I have never actually seen the original. Everything I know about the movie, I learned from the Mulan parade at Hollywood Studios. So it's circa 1999.
Yeah.
But still, he was the biggest float character there, so he must have been the most important character.
My daughter
It's really
says
small dragons.
they took out Mushu to make it more realistic, but they added this, and this. Like, he was like, how does that make sense? So I think, you know, that's a silly excuse. I can appreciate them taking it out. What we actually were most frustrated by was that all of the great music from Mulan was removed. You heard some instrumentals of the songs, but all of the singing, all of the musical parts of it were removed. And I mean, that's what you get out of Disney animated movies, is the great music. And they're almost musicals, but they're not. They're really enjoyable, and that's a great part of it. And you didn't get any of that. Yeah, I get it. It's live action, but it still could have been fun. And they didn't do that, and they took all that out. So that was our biggest complaint. There were some other minor changes about the characters. Overall, very good movie. If not compared to the first one, I would have said great movie. Yeah. But when you compare it to the original, it's not quite as good.
Yeah, I was going to complain about the music, but then I made the realization that all of the music I thought of when I thought of Mulan is actually from Pocahontas. So, so I apparently have no, on principle, I think that's terrible that they took the music out, but I don't have an emotional bond to any of it because I honestly don't know what songs are from Mulan. So,
hey, Mickey Disney, I got something to tell you, Mickey Disney.
Oh yeah,
you should have done just a little change to how you'd done this, right? And you probably would have gotten some more money out of me. Okay. Mickey? All right, here's what you do, Mickey. September 4th, $30. October 4th, $20. November 4th, $10. December 4th, free with service. So I could choose.
Still $10.
I could choose when I want. You know, I probably would spend $10 to watch it early. He's like, I really want to watch it. I've heard all these great things. Okay, let's spend $10. That would be great. I would totally do that. But especially the idea of paying $30 just days or hours before it becomes free would just freak my brain out. Like, I can't do it. And the further along into those 3 months of exclusivity, the worse it would be feeling about paying that money. Basically, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, it's at least I don't, just like the Skybox. It's not for everybody.
No, that's all right. Well, at least I don't have to pay for the NFL Network if I get YouTube TV. That's right. If you are a football fan, guess what, everybody? YouTube TV has decided to take some of that hard-earned cash that you keep throwing at them for $60 a month and add it to the NFL Network to the main lineup. It's available for you right now, but they're also providing an additional Sports Plus package that you can add on for $10.99 a month. Gives you things like NFL Red Zone, Vox College Sports, and the MAV TV Motorsports Network, TVG, and other participants. So it's basically get all your sports stuff on YouTube TV. YouTube TV has basically been kind of like trying to be pretty sports, sports forward with their stuff. They've been done the baseball and they've done the basketball stuff, so they've been really on top of it.
So I mean, that's not a bad deal because you can add the Red Zone and the Fox College Sports and all that other stuff for $10.99. Whereas if you tried to get those through the NFL app, it would be $35. So if you're already paying for YouTube TV, and you desperately want Red Zone or Fox College or, Golf TV, Fox Soccer Plus, whatever MAV TV is, and, $10 might be a no-brainer.
I feel like YouTube TV keeps adding these features in these channels so that they can send you an email with that up top and the increase in price that you're going to pay monthly below that, so nobody actually gets that far in the emails. Their prices are so high at this point. I don't fathom why anybody is still subscribing to them. Yeah, they add all of these things, but there's other ways to get them.
Their prices are still less than cable.
But barely.
Plus,
and honestly,
no contract. No contract.
I mean, if you get cable in a bundle with your internet, it's less than
for a year, but you still have a contract for multiple years. That is the difference. Whereas YouTube, I could sign up for it this month and then say, okay, I don't want it next month.
No, like Spectrum has no contracts. You get that price for a year, I think, guaranteed. $50 a month for a year, guaranteed. And it doesn't have all of the channels, but it has like the ESPN and stuff like that. So I guess my point is that we're getting to a point where these services, YouTube TV being generally the most expensive, though I think Fubo is now matching that, and a couple of others are creeping up there, where they're actually more expensive than the package deals you get with regular cable TV. I mean, I don't like cable TV for many reasons, but the price and the big bundles was one of the biggest reasons. And now all of these internet things are basically just more, in some cases, more expensive cable.
This is something that we've talked about before, that, you know, ideally they want to be the same product as cable, but in order to get adoption, you have to start out low. Like I was saying with the Skybox, is if YouTube TV came in at $65 a month, nobody ever would have signed up. Right. Like, screw this. What's the point? I'll just stick with cable. Now there are benefits because, number one, you're not technically, your family that you're sharing it with is technically region locked, but you can use it anywhere. You can't use cable outside your house. I mean, sure, Comcast has their Xfinity, BS that might let you watch some stuff. But so you can add multiple profiles, which your cable you can't. You can watch it anywhere. And
that's
the price.
These are the things that I'm talking about when I say there are other things I don't like about cable. The biggest thing being that. I think the other thing that is worth mentioning, though, is that these companies are continually raising the price to where, like I said, in a lot of cases, they're actually more expensive than cable now. Yet they don't have to cover the infrastructure costs of the cable network. So that's one of the things that, like AT&T and Spectrum, they're dealing with, is they're actually laying fiber, laying cable, and they are a utility at the same time as being a content provider or a distribution system. YouTube TV is just the distribution system, taking advantage of the fiber and stuff that's laid by these other companies, and yet they're charging more. It's insane. I think it's
it depends, because here, if I were to sign up for cable right now, it's going to cost me $100 and I have to sign a 2-year contract. Because Mediacom,
so in some places,
but that's what I'm saying. In some places, it may not make sense. Other places, like here, if I desperately needed cable, and I think YouTube TV would be my go-to if I wanted sports. Otherwise, Philo. We already talked about Philo, but no, I think it's the price is now finally to the point where I think it's normalizing. It's no longer in the early days, come please try us. We're willing to take a loss.
So here's a question. YouTube TV, do you have to watch commercials when you use their service?
Depends. It depends on the channel.
Generally, yes.
And see, I would pay the higher price if I didn't have to watch the commercials.
Oh, yeah, but you get more commercials with the cable companies.
And that's exactly the thing. I actually found out. So I was watching some of my shows on Hulu TV, and I found out that when I canceled Hulu TV and watched it on that channel's app, I got two 15-second ads at the same frequency as the TV show. On Hulu TV, I had the same frequency of ads, but they were like 4 minutes to 6 or even sometimes 8 minutes. What I found is shows that would have been an hour live with commercials on Hulu TV actually ended up being like an hour and 4, an hour and 5 minutes. So you got more commercials than you would have gotten on live TV. And if I would have just been watching it on the app, I would have been getting it in about 45 minutes. Well, no, like 48 minutes, saving time instead of spending more time. It was like, and I was paying like 60 something bucks a month for that service.
See, and
Yeah,
I use
not happy.
I use YouTube TV.
I'm with you on that.
But I use YouTube TV, but I only use it for the DVR. So anything that I watch, I just fast forward through commercials. And it's nice because I don't actually have to fast forward. They now do the frame skipping, so I'm able to go click, click, click. Okay, play.
Nice.
But you have to wait a certain amount of time too, don't you? Is
No.
it immediately like that? Because
Yeah.
like on Hulu TV, you had to watch
See,
it
Hulu's different.
at least 24 hours later.
No,
or
that's
else it
because
still had
Hulu's
commercials.
model is it'll show up on Hulu after, and they're using their DVR. They're using their model for the DVR. No, YouTube. If I start a show that's currently airing, it'll ask you, do you want to start from live or from the beginning in DVR? So if a show is it's technically saving everything, every episode that's ever plays, because it's not actually recording it, you know.
Right.
But yes, you can, if you start it from the beginning, you can bump up and run into the live because you're fast forwarding through commercials. So then you bump into, oh, now I'm watching it real time. And this sucks because I have to sit through commercials, but that's the live experience.
Well,
Which
at
is why
least it's
I
better
typically
than
don't.
Hulu
I
TV.
check YouTube TV once or twice a week to see what recorded.
Yeah.
But yeah, it depends. But I mean, if they're not adding their price right now, adding the football in time for football is a good deal for a lot of people.
Yeah.
What about Peacock?
What about Peacock?
I don't
Well, actually, no. It's about Peacock, but that's not what's important here. Hey, do you guys remember Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Did you like that show?
I did.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part about that show? You know, it was funny. You know, it had good humor.
Yeah.
You had Will being funny and and youthful.
Carlton being ridiculous.
And you had people doing that silly dance and whatever, and that the uncle always being angry and hilarious. That's he's a funny guy. Yeah. What if you had let's make a new version of that where it's not funny.
Wait, what?
No. Stop ruining stuff that's already good.
Yes, that's right. They are making a dramatized version of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air called Bel-Air. It's even Will Smith approved, where you are having a dramatized version of, he's a boy, he gets himself in trouble, he has to go get himself bailed out by his uncle, and he has to figure out how to make it through life in the different environment when he was from the hood and all that. Seriously, they're making a dramatized version of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where it's not funny.
So, okay. I just want to touch base or touch on one thing. You mentioned that it's Will Smith approved.
Sort of.
What this
It's
was
not just
they made a trailer for a thing that didn't exist,
Correct.
right? They
Yes,
did
they
this thing, and then when it became viral, they went to Will and said, hey, what do you think? Should we make this? If he had said no, he would have had endured the scorn of the internet. He had no choice but to say, yeah, that's good. Let's do it. No.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's the executive producer, so
Yeah, of course he is. He makes money. He's gonna on his money
Yeah.
back.
But
so.
no, I was saying there was
part of it.
no world where he could have said no.
I just took a few seconds to watch a bit of the trailer, and you know the song where he gets
Mhm.
himself in trouble because he throws a ball and it hits another guy and then gets in a fight. That's in the trailer. I
Started
mean,
making trouble in his
literal.
neighborhood.
It's like just literally the trailer is like this. You threw that ball. Just you throw that ball, and he gets in a fight. It's like what? And then the police come.
Well,
It's like,
let me see. He got in one little fight, and his mom got mad.
right?
And
He did. Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah, absolutely. Although apparently he was packing heat, so you know.
Oh, well, yeah. Of course he was.
I
think
didn't
it's
see
just-
whether or not he got a ride with a guy with in a funky a taxi cab all the way to Bel Air or anything like that. I didn't see that, but
Did he
you know,
say, "Yo, home, smell you later"?
I didn't. I don't know. But anyways, it's obviously. I mean, the guys who have made the trailer, I actually applaud this idea of making a dramatized version of this story because it's absolutely brilliant to do this trailer. Now the whole series, oh man,
So this is
I mean,
just-
it might be good, it might be horrible. I
This-
don't know.
And so I'm a fan of making series out of trailers or one-off videos.
Yeah,
Brockmire is a perfect example. Brockmire was a Funny or Die skit with Hank Azaria about a newscaster that gets bad news and he has a nervous breakdown on the air. They turned it into a TV show for 3 seasons. I absolutely love that show.
did he have
And
a breakdown like every episode?
No, it's basically following all of the fallout from that because he gets fired, so it's down the road after the fact trying to scrape his life back together. Absolutely great. Not good for kids, but absolutely funny. Definitely suggest Brockmire. Also, that Apple TV show is the same thing. That new one about the football coach that goes to coach the soccer team. That's based off of just some funny commercials that were made about that character. So I don't have a problem with that premise of making a thing and go, oh, hey, people like this. Let's do a thing.
Let's go for it.
You're creeping into the territory where if something is good, leave it alone. Do something original.
Right. I gotcha.
That's yeah.
I think it just shows they're running out of ideas.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're not interested in new ideas is the thing. There's tons of people out there that have new ideas, but you can't get anybody to listen to them.
Yeah.
Because the old ideas still make money. Why would you want something new that wouldn't necessarily make money versus the old thing you know?
Yeah, why don't we just? It's been 30 years. Why don't we make a new Police Academy movie?
You know what? You say that, I bet you 3 years.
Mahoney was just on this season of Holy Moly as a guest judge, so for the diving hole. So I wouldn't be surprised. He needs some money now. He's the commissioner. But yeah, whatever. Hey, I was super excited to find out what this next story.
So I don't know
Funimation.
much. I don't know much about this. Funimation, the guys who have been making a lot of those dubbed anime in the
So
States.
I'll take it because this is in my wheelhouse because
Sure, go for it.
Funimation now is one of my favorite. It's the best $5 a month I spend. Because for most of Funimation is one of the major importers of anime. They do very, 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 very good dubs. And they, about a year ago, they started doing the simulcasts where a show, as it's airing in Japan, if it aired today or tonight in Japan, tomorrow they will start dubbing it. And this week's episode will be available exactly next week, dubbed here in the U.S. So rather than waiting years, you've now got a 7-day turnaround, kind of like the Hulu model. Instead of a day, you're waiting a week, but that's better than months. Well, Funimation just signed a agreement with Viz Media, which will increase the analog or the anime catalog significantly. Viz is one of the production companies. And this is huge. So if you're super into anime and you're not subscribed to Funimation, you should probably go check out their catalog because it's a lot bigger than you probably think. Crunchyroll took a huge hit a couple years ago because when Sony bought Funimation, they pulled their catalog off of Crunchyroll. So Crunchyroll lost most of their dubbed content. So Crunchyroll is primarily known for subbed content. And now Funimation's catalog is going to be even bigger, starting, I think, September 22nd. So, and that's
Very cool. All right. Well, and I believe that is the end of our news for this week.
Yeah, that brings us to the point where we make a plea to those of you out there that are supporting us every month, and you have been supporting us for almost 100 episodes. We say thank you, and to which I mean the patrons. Can you believe it's been 99 episodes since the actually, no, if you count episode 100 when we opened it up, it has been exactly 100 episodes since people said, hey, you should have a Patreon. I still question why. But, you know, the patrons demanded it. We said, okay. And all of you that see, sorry, I missed something. So, we forget something? Whatever.
Apparently.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Whatever.
We're talking about the patrons. Leave us alone,
Yeah,
Rabbit.
patrons. Jeez.
No. Yeah. So, again, if you're currently a patron, you're awesome. We appreciate it. If you are not, but you would like to support the show, that's patreon.com/thevodsquad. Give as much as you want, as little as you want. We may not be a good investment, but we're better than a bad one. That being said, we should just move on to some rants and raves because that's what we do best. All right. Rants, raves, what do we got?
I am building a deck in my backyard. So this is why it's a rant / rave. It's mostly a rant, but it's not, I don't mean to be rude. But here's the thing. The people I'm building the deck with is my wife, my mother-in-law, and my sister-in-law.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
So essentially, I'm letting them build the deck. I'm just, swinging the hammer and turning the screws.
So you're doing the labor.
Right.
So this is essentially Egypt. You're doing the labor and they're standing around with
They're
whips.
helping too. Well, no
verbal
whips.
Whips.
They're very much helping too, but there's also a lot of Matt, can you do this? Yeah, sure.
Okay.
No problem. I can do that. Yeah, no problem. And me going, what about this? And then they discussed 5 minutes about a different way of doing than what I was intending to say about doing something. And then they make a decision and I go, okay. But generally they get things mostly, I'm not a builder. But I just think that for the most part, I think it will bear weight, and I don't think it'll fall over. So I think we'll be all right.
Do you need city approval?
Don't know. We are private property, so we're HOA.
You might want to find out, because city finds out, they will tell you to tear it down if they require a permit and you didn't get one. So you might want to look into that.
You get introduced to the code enforcement.
Oh yeah. See, and that's the problem with Google Maps. Is a lot of cities have been using it now because there was stuff that never got enforced because they didn't know it was there. But now when they go on Google Maps and go, oh, hey, that lot, they didn't used to have a deck. And they get a knock on the door and, hey, I'm from code enforcement. I'm here to check out your deck. where are the permits? But no, I
But it does vary wildly.
yeah,
you know,
exactly, and that's why I
from place
asked,
to
because
place.
some municipalities don't care, some are very, very, very strict. So
I've said it on the internet, so you never know.
We in ours, if you have to get it's the HOA.
I got approval from the HOA. I went through the HOA.
requires
They gave me approval.
Yeah.
We got to get both of our neighbors to sign approval, and it's silly. But you also need a city permit for a permanent structure that cannot be moved.
But this one doesn't attach to the house. I
Yeah,
don't
so
know.
that probably
I mean, that's why I
If
said,
it's-
yeah,
is
you
it
gotta
anchored to the ground?
make sure to check.
All right.
So cover your backside, because it could be really bad.
in most municipalities the result is a fine and a review, and then if it doesn't get approved, then it has to be removed.
Mhm.
But in most cases it'll get approved, but you'll pay a fine, which is not trivial, and you still have to end up paying for the inspection and all of that stuff, so it ends up costing you a lot more.
And the reason I say check is because you may find there is a loophole, but it will require you making a change to your construction. But it's better to do it now, make that change to make it fit in the loophole, so that you're covered. But
Okay.
how far along are you? Almost done?
Nope. Just a frame.
Okay.
No,
Perfect.
we're this weekend we're gonna work on doing more
Yeah,
of
your
it,
city
so.
should have under the permit code stuff on their website.
Okay. Fun stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks for the great rant, guys.
Hey, this is Education Corner.
Okay, somebody go on.
Who's next?
Go
Nobody?
ahead, Mike. We'll
All
go
right.
in the
Well,
reverse.
so last week, was my computer functional? I don't think it was. Was it?
You were having boot issues. Oh, because
Okay.
of a fan.
Yes. So
Ah.
my computer, it works. It's beautiful. I just wasn't paying attention. I plugged the CPU fan into the chassis fan, which happens to be right next to the CPU fan. I mean, it's the one for the back of the
Yep.
case. I know that. I've done this hundreds of times. I just wasn't paying attention this time. So I took it out. I disconnected everything. And then I looked and I was like, oh gosh, what an idiot. Fixed it. Works beautifully. Love it. And I have since been able to play the new Marvel's Avengers video game, which came out on Friday or Saturday, and it is outstanding. The new graphics card makes it run beautifully. The graphics are absolutely amazing. The story is a ton of fun. There are multiplayer campaign missions that you can play throughout the campaign. Some of it's solo, made for only one person, but I'm able to play with my brother-in-law, and so it is a lot of fun. Very much enjoying that game so far.
Yeah.
If you like Marvel, if you like the Avengers, it is a definite must-buy.
The Avengers, or it's that British show. The lady with the guy has
Yeah.
had the umbrella, and the lady, and
That's it. Yep,
yeah.
definitely.
Mhm.
Jimmy, what you got?
Cobra Kai. I have finished the first season, now into the second season, about maybe 3 episodes, I think, into the second season. And yeah, really
still enjoying it?
Still enjoying it. And yeah, they really do an excellent job tying it back to the original movies, right? You know, the Karate Kid movies.
Daniel is the villain.
And yeah, I understand that point of view, right? And yeah, and if you look at it, thinking of that, you can kind of see the point a little bit, right? But yeah, good show, and I'm glad it's on Netflix, right? Glad I didn't have to subscribe to YouTube to watch it.
Oh, you're lucky it went that Netflix picked it up, so you're actually going to get a season 3 soon.
Yeah.
That's what we're waiting on. So
Yeah, looking forward to that too. So yeah, if you hadn't watched that on Netflix, yeah, it's a good, entertaining show.
So I've got two things. The first one, it's also a Netflix show. There's a new show called Away. Some of you may have started watching it. It's about a manned mission to Mars. It's like a drama. I started watching it. I kind of enjoy it. But, man, their lack of attention to detail is just destroying my enjoyment of this show. It's like there's a scene early on where they go get out, do an EVA, and you see the interior door, the latch doesn't close all the way. It like only closes halfway. And I think, oh, maybe that's going to be a plot point. Oh, no, maybe it only closes that way. But when they flip the view and you see the exterior door, nope, that one's closed all the way. So I fast forward and go back and I look. Yep, it started all the way open when they opened it. And then they only latch it. Okay, maybe that's a plot point. And then you get, nope, nothing ever comes of it. They're troubleshooting a thing and they're opening every single valve and walking away with the valves open. It's like, what are you doing? It's just the lack of attention to detail. It's terrible. The worst was the girl. She gets a ride from her friend. Nate hops in his old Chevy truck, and she's like, where's the seat belts? He goes, oh, it's a lap belt, and he reaches across. It's like a 75 or a 76 Chevy. Shoulder belts became mandatory in 73. The last truck to be produced without shoulder belts was in 72. That truck does not. They purposely took out the seatbelt to give him an excuse in the story to reach across her lap. It's like, oh, this is stupid. It's just a lot of stuff like that. And it's really making it hard for me to watch. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about, we got the worst news possible. I would mark this up with probably the way that people felt when Kennedy got shot.
Oh, no.
It's been, it's official. They've canceled the Venture Brothers.
Oh, man.
We will never get another season. We finally got another season like a year ago, and it was awesome. My life was whole. And now, nothing. Just black. I don't know. I don't know how we're going to move forward. And this is what Wabbit was trying to say we forgot to talk about, but
that's it. We this is the last episode. We're done.
I know. See, I mean, it's the perfect time to, why bother? If there's not going to be any more Venture Brothers, then what's the point? Why do we even need streaming media? Why do we even need TV?
Well, you'll always have Gary Busey pet judge.
Yes. Well, I hope we get another season. I'm out of episodes, unfortunately. So I'm waiting for a new one. But yeah, on that note, we should probably shut this thing down and go to the post show.
We have to.
I haven't been paying. Well, we'll talk about it later. But no, thank you everybody for hanging out with us today. This is episode 199. Next week, we will be celebrating the big 200. We've got some special stuff. It won't be a normal show. We've got some special stuff planned, sort of. We still got to work out details. Yeah, that's how we roll here. But we plan on doing a call-in episode for at least the last half until question mark. So we're going to be hip. The show will be 9 p.m. Central until question mark. We'll go as long as we need to answer everybody's questions. So join us next week. And if you're watching this after the fact, you should come join us live. We do this live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central, here on Twitch. When you're here, you get to participate in the chat. You get to correct me or yell at me or, point out whatever offensive thing you think I said. And then I'll respond to you later and tell you that you're wrong. But that's fun in itself.
Wow. Quite the privilege. Wow.
Hey, when it's opinion, you're never wrong because it's your opinion. No, also you get to submit show titles, which we will be voting on here in the post show. Everybody, you can head on over to tvs.showbot.tv. Vote. Pick whatever you want. The winner gets to be the title. And we will talk about that here in the post show. The other thing you don't get if you watch this after the fact. So thanks, everybody. Head on over to the post show. We will see you there. Bye.
Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.